With the spring session of the legislature now complete, I just wanted to reach out and thank all of you for your continuing support. So now, the race to replace Jason Kenney is underway, and I'm a little concerned that the folks who ignored you and discounted your ideas and your concerns are already falling back into bad habits. Even worse, we are already seeing some candidates and their supporters taking personal shots at each other. Runaway public debt, resulting in higher taxes and slower economic growth, comes at a devastating cost for the millennials and our younger generations. Our kids will be worse off than their parents and grandparents, and they know it. I talk a lot about Alberta needing a fair deal with Ottawa and our Canadian partners, and for good reason. But now, more than ever, we need to focus on getting a fair deal for Albertans in our economy. The good news is there are a number of steps we can take to get this started. Thirdly, we need to reevaluate the goals and objectives of Alberta's tier carbon tax program. Let me preface these remarks by stating this. Anyone who tells you that Alberta doesn't have a carbon tax is not being truthful. Alberta does have a carbon tax, an industrial carbon tax, and it was increased the very same day that Trudeau increased the consumer carbon tax. You pay, Albertans pay, this hidden carbon tax every single day, and pretending it doesn't exist or that industrial carbon tax isn't passed on to consumers is utter hogwash. The question we should be asking ourselves is why? Are we paying this hidden carbon tax entirely so that it will be rebated to mega corporations and used to fund inefficient and unreliable renewable energy projects? Or are we paying this carbon tax so that we can appease Justin Trudeau, the World Economic Forum, or the United Nations? Or are we doing it so that we can claim, like the NDP did, that we are putting a price on carbon? And in a time of runaway inflation and now rising interest rates, with rising electricity, heating, food, and mortgage bills, how can we continue to justify taking food off Alberta families' table in this manner? And how can we continue chasing failed Ontario-styled energy policies that have us all struggling to prevent electricity brownouts on hot and cold days, even as we sit on natural resources that are the envy of the entire world? How can we keep importing power and exporting jobs and pretending this will in any way impact global temperatures? Here's my proposal. First, let's put Albertans and their families first when we come to national and international energy agreements. If it doesn't benefit us, we don't sign. And if Trudeau tries to push us, we push back. Secondly, if we must maintain the industrial carbon tax, at the very least, we should be rebating 100% of the taxes collected to Albertans in the form of lower electricity and heating bills. Let me be clear. We all need heat. We all need electricity. We all need food. We all need jobs. We don't need lying politicians pretending that their carbon tax is not a carbon tax. In upcoming videos, I will look at Alberta income tax policy, the small business tax, spending and living within our budget and our means, and of course, ideas on democratic reform.